A heads up, anybody, if your churches start preaching that UFOs are our friends, because the Lord doesn't need UFOs traveling. So very interesting. It's trying to correlate everything together now, and about the same timeline for September. Because, the rapture theorists, the pre-trib rapture people are always looking for a new date for the rapture. If one comes and goes, they'll find another one to harp on for a while. It's always been big business for the church. It's always made them tons of money. Because somebody claimed they know when the rapture is going to happen, and everybody buys your books. It's a money gimmick. It's a money game. The rapture has become nothing but an advertising gimmick. It's commercializing the Lord. It's making money off of Him, off of His name. These people should be ashamed. But no, they just keep commercializing Him. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. And other than that, it leads thousands and thousands of people looking into false theologies and false hope that some rapture is going to save them from the things that are coming. Now, even if there was, let's just say, theoretics, if there was a rapture before the tribulation period, what makes people in America think they wouldn't have to go through persecution and a huge famine here before that happened? Famine and plagues. So why aren't you prepared either way? Why aren't you prepared either way? Why don't some of you, since you're so sure the rapture is going to happen in September of this year, sign your house over to me so I have one to live in for the next 3 years? Go ahead, you can send your signed titles over to Sherry Shriner. My address is on my website. Because they won't. They just waste their time, stupid theology errors. Start asking the Lord for the truth in all things. Don't believe me. Ask the Lord. Start asking Him to reveal the truth in all things to you. Some of the power-based nations of this Maitreya that are coming, folks, find it interesting that the famine in Egypt was the beginning of all. It was kind of like a signal, a sign. And sure enough, lately you've started to see publicly the famine in Egypt over food uproars over food prices. And so this stuff's right around the corner, folks. This stuff is literally right around the corner. Look for Egypt to be the power base, actually, of this Arabian prince that's coming, this Maitreya, we'll call Cain, whatever you want to call him. Look for Egypt as his power base. Also Libya, Iran, Assyria, and Ethiopia. Those are 5 nations that are going to align with him, and he will have 5 more nations that align with him. He'll have a total of 10 nations. He's going to be the powerhouse to deal with, this Cain. It's so very interesting, because Egypt, Libya, and Iran and Ethiopia are just always dominantly in the codes. They're going to be backers of him or overtaken by him either way. And as much as Iran's the one we usually hear from that's always harping about the coming Mahdi and their Messiah, it seems to me like when he comes, it's going to be more of Egypt that's his power base. He's going to rise up out of Egypt and then take over Iran. And so either way, or he just starts assimilating his power base. Just watch those countries. Watch those countries, because there are 5 countries right now that are his power base that I can recognize in the codes. He'll have a total of 10 that are going to reign with him for 1 hour, and 1 hour being a 3.5-year period, the second half of the tribulation period. Because the first beast of Revelation is this Cain, this cloned Cain, this Maitreya. The second beast of Revelation 13, the false prophet, will be the Sananda, acting as Jesus. Something else the Lord confirmed to me the other night as I was just sitting talking to Him since I was up anyway, is that this Queen of Heaven, Church hails her as Mary, the Queen of Heaven, and I talked about it last summer. It'll be in the archives of my radio shows over the summer, about Eve, that this woman is Eve, and it's something that the Lord confirmed for me again as we just sat and talked about things, that it is indeed Eve, and I talked about last summer how it was Eve. Eve was kept alive. She's been kept alive because of this monoatomic gold that keeps a lot of these fallen angels alive and allows them to live for hundreds, even thousands of years. And Satan allowed him to keep her alive with this power, this monoatomic gold. Eve turned her back on the Lord as she got older, and that's why even in the Old Testament scrolls, the books, you'll hear about Adam. And, you have to chew the grass and spit out the hay, and you read one thing, don't really know if it's true, don't know what to believe. But what I've read is that Adam had children with one of his granddaughters, that him and Eve had separated, and that he had went on and fathered children other than just Seth and Abel and Cain. Well, he didn't father Cain, but Seth and Abel. And so very interesting because they've always been really quiet on Eve. Always have been real quiet on her. And, of course, they kept that through history to where the women would never get much of a say in any of the history books unless Mary and Joseph did. That had actually printed her lineage out. But for the most part, Hebrew history, you're going to hear about the men, you're not going to hear about the women. And you got to wonder why. Why are they trying to keep everything about Eve so secretive? And so that would be more interesting. But he did confirm to me that this whole queen of heaven worship is Eve worship. You're worshiping Eve. And then you've got Cain coming. This is Maitreya representing Cain, Eve's son. And I've talked about the serpent seed, that line that was started between Eve and Cain and Satan. Eve having a sexual union with Satan and producing Cain. And the whole serpent seed line, serpentseedline.com, you can go there and read. I have a lot of information there about this serpent seed line that was created. The same serpent seed line that's ruling and dominating the world today in our economics and our politics. The same seed of Esau. You'll see it throughout the centuries survive. Edomites, the sons of Esau, and all this. It's just various different seed lines, serpent seed lines. And so even all these people today, the Clintons and the Bushes and Obama and how they're all related bloodlines. They're all related in their bloodlines. And they're all, Obama's a distant cousin of Cheney and all this stuff. But how they're all distant cousins of everybody else. Because it's all the same seed line. Satan has preserved his seed lines throughout the centuries so that one of his seed line has always been dominant in our government and politics. His seed line has always ruled it. And so Christians, when you start to realize there was definitely Satan's seed here on earth, you'll see that there's always been a war between Cain and Seth, the sons of Satan and the sons of the Lord. The whole war thing will start to open your eyes a little bit, and you'll start to see it more. As for now, we're going to see a continuance in an economic annihilation that's ready-made. 4 terms in the code together. I see a continuance, economic annihilation, ready-made. Ready-made being this is planned, this is orchestrated. So we never know how bad it's going to get from one day to the next, or if it'll just kind of slow for a while. Don't know what their plans are. But there is going to be a worldwide famine. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, you can read about it. What I did want to do is read about it. Because there's one thing I'm seeing in the codes all the time, and that's foursome. It's a 4 horsemen on the earth right now. And John talks about it in Revelation chapter 6. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he'd opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, this is where we are right now, I heard the 3rd beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And verse 7, And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with famine, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. It is this pale horse, the rider of this 4th horse, that is called Death, and hell followed with him. That is the arrival of this Jesus on earth, this Sananda. Hell following with him is the assembly of these angels, this angelic host, deceiving mankind into believing that they're angels. Simply just another alien invasion on earth as far as I'm concerned. And power is given unto them to kill a 4th part of the earth. 4th part of the earth, kill sword, hunger, death, and with the beasts of the earth. So he's not coming to save people, folks. He's not coming to build religion on earth. He's coming to destroy. His mere presence destroys it. If you look at the black horse, which is always represented by Maitreya, this Cain, the famine is his responsibility. It's when he arrives, we're going to see famine, and we're seeing that now. It's so interesting that I keep seeing in the codes that he's already here. He's already here. I believe last week I exposed where they were. They're hiding in a town in the Mount Sinai desert. I was